Okay, so this is for my parents who have children. And parents who have children, of course, you have children, your parents, duh. But these are for my parents that have children that are either on the spectrum or have a hard time, or at that age where they have a hard time regulating their nervous system, right? So let's talk about it. My son's on the spectrum, he's 12 years old. Um, he I always tell people Dylan's different. He's not, to me, Dylan's different than the rest of my kids, but he's different the same way Jaden's different than Matthew. He's just, he just does things differently. It's not even like, I don't like the fact that they call it a disorder. That's the part that bothers me, because he doesn't have a disorder. He's just different. He just does things differently. So he got upset because I guess he was still hungry. Everybody who knows Dylan, food is like the end all be all of his shit. Don't fuck with his food. Like you could take his toys, you could take anything. Don't mess with his food. So he tends to get very angry. I even made him a designer jacket that says, apparently I get angry when, or I am dramatic when I'm hungry. And it's true. Dylan is very dramatic when he's hungry, but I digress. So Jaden is in charge. That's his responsibility of making sure that Dylan is fed. Everyone in my household has roles, goals, and responsibilities. That's how I run my house. I run my house with roles, goals, and responsibilities. Yes, even Dylan has a role, he has a goal, and he has responsibilities. So that's how I run it. So Jaden's responsibility is to make sure Dylan is fed. So I was downstairs and Dylan was doing the normal cry, because he doesn't talk. He doesn't say, "Mom, I'm hungry." He doesn't talk like that. He talks with sound. He makes different sounds for different things, right? And I muscle test the majority of the time to make sure the sound that I heard is what he needs. So, but I'll talk about muscle testing with your autistic kid another time. Or nonverbal child another time. So he was upset. And like I said, those that know Dylan, when he gets upset, it doesn't get violent, but it gets loud. Especially the longer you take to figure out what he wants, the louder it gets. The longer it takes you to respond to what he wants, the louder it gets. So it gets to a point where it's so loud that I come upstairs. Because the reason why I don't come upstairs right away is because if I kept coming upstairs every time Dylan cried or made a sound or got upset, it would undermine Jaden's authority. So I do my best to manage the way I manage at work. My assistant, I don't bother her. I let her have the autonomy that she needs to command her area. Because if I'm constantly in her area and I constantly jump up, I've done it. It's not good. And I constantly jump up and I don't allow Jaden to assert his authority, he's never going to have it. But with Dylan, it's like he has to be on a schedule. Even his meals have to be on a schedule. And this is what I explained to Jaden. Jaden was like, "Well, I fed him on time. It was 6 o'clock. I fed him on time." I'm like, "Yes, but you didn't feed him properly." Dylan has a way. It may not be all kids. It may just be mine. I'm telling you about my kid and how I operate with my kid. My kid, what I do is I give him half of the amount that he's going to get. It was lasagna. Jaden made lasagna last night. So he had lasagna today. So what Jaden did probably was just give him a piece of lasagna and put it on a plate and gave him that with his water, because he doesn't really drink juice or anything like that. He likes water. So he drank water. And I tell Jaden, with Dylan has nothing to do with him being on the spectrum. It has nothing to do with him, having a delay. None of that stuff. Dylan, you have to stimulate his mind. If you don't stimulate his mind, his brain is not going to jarg or like, I'm full. It's not going to do that. The way I do it with Dylan, for Dylan's brain to click and be like, I'm full, is I put a lot of different pieces of things or food on his plate. And I cut it up so it looks like it's a lot. But if you just give him one whole thing, in his brain, he's only eating one thing, right? For lunch, Jaden was going to give him a tortilla with eggs and sausage in it, right? And I said, you giving him the tortilla is not the problem. How you're presenting it to him is the problem. So I cut it up in triangles. And I put it all around the plate. I didn't just put it in the center of the plate. I put it all around the plate, and then I sprinkled pretzels, little tiny pretzels, all over the plate. So I was supposed to put plantain chips, but I forgot. Because the more things that are on that plate, one, it clicks something in his brain, and it makes him maneuver around trying to get stuff. So his brain is stimulated as much as his brain telling him, I'm full. We had a lot of pieces. There were a lot of pieces on that plate. And I've tested this theory. With him, and I tested this theory with him with Jaden. And when I did it, and when Jaden doing it. Because today, when we did it, he wasn't hungry for another 3 hours. Dylan eats like literally every 3 hours. Every 3 to 4 hours, it's like clockwork. He either wants a snack, or it's a routine. He's just, like I said, this a lot, and I say this to a lot of parents who have a child on that they say is diagnosed on the spectrum. It's not a lot of the things that we have to work at and figure out is not autism things. It's behavioral. It's learning their behavior, learning what they do when they do it. Like I was saying before, he was really upset that, he didn't have extra food. So like I told Jaden, next time give him half and then let him wait, because he'll wait like about an hour or so, and then he'll be like, damn, I'm still hungry. He just doesn't verbalize it. And he'll be like, damn, I'm still hungry. And then he'll go into the kitchen. And if he has the plate sitting there with the extra food, he'll just pick up the plate and go take it and go sit down, put the plate in the sink, and then he's good. You understand? But if he sees that there's nothing there, and then he feels he has to go forage for food, which he does, because he comes into my studio looking for food. He goes into the cupboards. You see all the cupboards open, and that Dilly Bear is foraging for food. So what happened with that incident, he got very upset. He was very upset, and he couldn't tick down. And I at first, I'm going to be honest with you, at first I was just like, yo, what is wrong with you? It's not that serious. Is your feelings hurt? Like, what is wrong? And I was like, does Jaden need to say sorry? Do you need an apology? What is it? Because he's big on his apologies. So I was trying to I was muscle testing to see what was going on. And it just got to a point where my team was like, he just needs you to rub his face. He needs you to help him calm down. He needs you to rub his head so that he can calm down, because his nervous system is all over the place right now, and he's having a difficult time ticking down. So it's like I said before, having a child on the spectrum, a lot of the different things that you're going to encounter is behavioral. And you have to figure out a way how to maneuver around their behavior so that it's easier for them and it's easier for you too. I know this helped. I'm going to make more of these. Stay up, stay blessed. Deuces, you got this.